In those years, Israel faced grave problems. Our borders were long and difficult to defend. Our neighbors were hostile. We felt besieged. There was a sense of choking solitude. Before 1948, a Palestinian Jew could travel to any of the neighboring countries. Afterward, and to this day, the railway lines all end at the international frontier. We lived in our own hermetically sealed world. The Gulf of Aqaba, or Eilat, runs from the tip of the Negev into the Red Sea, but at the narrow straits of Tiran at its entrance, Egypt had built gun emplacements and thus prevented Israel from using that route. The Suez Canal had also been closed, not only to Israeli ships, but also to foreign ships sailing to Israel with other flags ever since 1948. In 1954, when an Israeli freighter attempted to test the blockade, the Egyptians confiscated its cargo and jailed its crew. They were cutting us off from 2/3 of the world by blockading us illegally in the Suez Canal and in the Straits of Tiran at Aqaba. And for all this, they were not even opposed or even criticized. Although the immigrants would eventually become Israel's main economic resource, for the time being, they were Israel's major economic problem. The number of consumers had grown spectacularly. The number of producers had diminished. By the middle of 1949, Israel's fragile economy was nearing collapse. It was necessary to impose strict austerity on the country. The rations were meager, 1 egg per person per week at first, later 1 per month. There was a tremendous hunger for protein. A vigorous black market sprang to life, and the currency began to lose its value. Smuggled dollars brought a premium rate of exchange. It was not good Zionism, but the dealers prospered. Chickens, dead or alive, became desirable out of all proportion to their appearance. The British Prime Minister Anthony Eden, as well as the Americans, was making an intense diplomatic effort to win the heart of the Arab world. Secretary Dulles' purpose was to curb Russian influence by a series of Western defense and arms agreements which would block Soviet penetration. By 1955, a whole network of mutual security agreements was in place. Israel was excluded from all of them. Desperate, isolated, our country faced an enormous security problem. Our borders could be easily penetrated at many points. Soon, gangs of professional terrorists, sponsored and trained by Arab governments, broke into Israel day by day. Terrorist infiltration and murder became a routine. This was Israel's principal agony. Embattled, blockade, besieged, Israel alone amongst the nations faces the battle for its security anew with every rising dawn and with every approaching nightfall. We know that Israel is most popular when it does not hit back, and world opinion is profoundly important to us. So on one occasion after another, we have buried our dead, tended our wounded, clenched our teeth in suppressed resentment, and hope that this very moderation will deter a repetition of the offense. But sometimes the right and duty of self-preservation prevails in the final and reluctant decision.